It's 16 shocking animal attacks. At first thought to be a fantastic photo opportunity, quickly turned into a tragic event. Ben Govender saw a lioness approach a car in front of him at Kruger National Park, so he grabbed his camera to take some pictures. The occupant of the vehicle, Catherine Chappell, wound the window down for a once-in-a-lifetime close encounter. However, it went tragically wrong when the lioness attacked Catherine and tore a chunk out of her shoulder. They thought the lioness was done when she started walking away, but she leapt right back into the vehicle, mailing Catherine to death. Brent Chase was a lot luckier than poor Catherine Chappell and managed to survive a grizzly bear attack. He was out surveying some land and a bear snuck up behind him and bit his head. Somehow Chase broke free and managed to drive 16 miles to a gas station. He would go on to lose a big part of his skull, but he lives to tell the tale. Charla Nash was brutally attacked by a friend of hers' pet chimpanzee. The chimp appeared in many TV adverts and movies, and on the day of the attack, he had escaped from a vehicle that he was driving in. Nash was trying to help catch him when the attack occurred. Travis was killed, and Charla has undergone dozens of surgeries, including a face transplant. She has been helping research teams by trying experimental drugs to try and assist others weaning off medication needed to assist the body to accept new body parts. This is the story that shocked the world, as a little 2-year-old boy was meant to be having the time of his life at Disney World, then was dragged to his ultimately death by an alligator. Lane Graves was wading in shallow waters when the little boy was snatched and dragged away. Disney World has removed every single reference to alligators and crocodiles in the resort. The family have thanked the public for their support and sympathy, and have asked for space and privacy while they grieve. Rest in peace, little man. This is incredible. A 17-year-old boy actually survived the bite of an inland taipan, which is considered one of the most venomous snakes in the world. If bitten, you only have about 45 minutes. You start by hemorrhaging and then become paralyzed. The boy had one of these snakes illegally, and how he managed to walk to the hospital and survive this bite is still a mystery to medical staff in Australia. Steve Irwin will forever remain in the hearts of many. He was an incredible wildlife expert, a conservationist, and a well-respected TV personality. Whilst filming a documentary called The Oceans Deadliest, the inevitable happened. A stingray pierced him in the chest during filming, and it killed him. There is currently a petition in Australia to get Irwin immortalized on some of their currency. Bethany Hamilton has been surfing since she was a little girl, and at the age of 13 was attacked by a tiger shark. She lost about 60% of her blood and literally took her father's bed in the hospital as he was about to go in for a knee operation. A month after the attack, she was back in the water, determined to surf again. She has gone on to win many competitions and is also a wife and mom. Respect. It was at Kruger National Park in South Africa where a 15-year-old boy was attacked by a hyena inside his tent. Urko Jans van Rensburg woke up with the jaws of the animal around his head. The animal dragged him outside by his pajamas and sat on him. He was helicoptered to the closest hospital to undergo serious surgery. He has sadly lost an eye and will still undergo further surgery, as the damage was extensive. Tilikum is a killer whale that was caught off the coast of Iceland in 1983 when he was just 2 years old. He has been in captivity ever since. Tilikum was responsible for the death of 3 people, the most well-known being Dawn Branchow, whom he caught by her ponytail, dragged her underwater, and bit her around her waist. The whale has received loads of sympathy, as many believe its circumstances led it to behave like that. Tilikum is actually dying from a bacterial disease now in 2016. If you head over to Port Elizabeth, you can go and pet some tame cheetah brothers, Mark and Monty. But at the end of the day, they're still animals. And when the cheetahs started getting a bit aggressive with some children, Violet DeMello tried to intervene. The one cheetah started getting quite playful with her, which quickly turned into aggression. The husband continued taking pictures, believing that it was all playful, not realizing the extent of the damage the cheetah was causing. Jenna O'Grady Donnelly was just finishing off her studies to become a vet when her and her friend took a break to Malaysia and spent some time in a nature reserve in Borneo. They were taking a walk with guides and capturing some shots when they startled a lone pygmy elephant. The elephant charged and pierced Jenna. She died instantly. It really was a very tragic incident. Taylor Mitchell, an up-and-coming Canadian singer who has been nominated for a Young Performer of the Year award by Canadian Folk Music Awards. Whilst touring, she went on a hike and encountered 2 coyotes. Sadly, the bite wounds were too severe and she lost too much blood. She passed away 12 hours after the attack. George Went Hensley was an American minister who was well known for his dealings with snakes. It was his belief that if you were free of sin and a true believer, you could handle any poisonous snake and not get bit. People actually got bitten and died at his sermons, which he said was an act of God. Well, on the 24th of July, 1955, he himself was bit. He died later that day. Madness and mayhem. That's what a stray leopard caused when it randomly strolled into an Indian village. The leopard mailed 6 people and got a few swipes in with police and forest guards before officials managed to take it down with tranquilizer shots. The Kali River on the India-Nepal border is said to be home of a giant man-eating catfish called goonch. Several attacks have been confirmed, including one in 1998, when a 17-year-old boy was dragged under the water by the fish and no remains ever found. 3 months after that, a little boy was pulled under the water. And again in 2007, a teenager swimming was dragged away by the fish and no remains ever found. It is believed the fish has a taste for human flesh because of the burnt bodies tossed into the water by the villagers after funerals.
And now for number 1. But first, be sure to subscribe for new videos every day.
Whilst eating lunch with some friends in Olympic National Park, a mountain goat approached the group of friends. They thought it was pretty exciting at first, until the goat became aggressive and charged them. A 63-year-old man was gored in the thigh repeatedly and passed away before he got to the hospital.